Hey everyone, today we're making an island favorite, these delicious empanadillas with arroz con gandules. And we're using these dehydrated soy crumbles. We're going to start by rehydrating the crumbles, and for this recipe I just added the crumbles to a bowl and add enough water to cover over the crumbles. Let them sit for at least 15 minutes. As your crumbles hydrate, go ahead and warm up a pan with a little bit of oil so that you can be ready to cook the crumbles once they're done hydrating. We wait for that pan to heat up. We're going to move on to the rice for the rice and beans. So we're going to separate 1 cup of rice. Make sure you give that rice a good wash, and then we'll go ahead and add in the beans. I'm using Goya's green pigeon peas, but you can use whatever pigeon peas you'd like, and make sure you give them a good rinse as well. Now we want to go ahead and add water to the beans and rice and make sure that there's enough to cover over both the beans and the rice. I normally just make sure everything is level and then add any extra water you might need. And then this next step is a must. You have to have a sazon packet. If you don't have one, this recipe is not going to be the same. Go ahead and add the packet to the water. I like to make sure I get every little last drop because I want all the flavor I can get. Next, we're moving into the salt, and for this, go very light because you can always add to, but you can't take away, so just keep that in mind. Now we're going to add in olive oil. For this, I normally swirl it around in a circle, and it's roughly about 2 tablespoons. Now go ahead and give that a good stir to get all the flavors incorporated, and then we're going to go ahead and add in some sofrito. So sofrito is just a blended mixture of herbs and peppers, and it adds a delicious flavor to the food. I'm using this brand because I ran out of my mom's homemade sofrito. And always after you're done mixing, just give it a quick taste test to see, is it too salty, is it seasoned enough, do you need to add anything before you turn on the heat. So right now you can see there's enough broth covering over the rice and beans. We're going to turn the heat on high for about 10 minutes. As you see the liquid evaporate, we're going to turn the heat down to low and put a lid on it. Then give it one good stir sometime in between there. So now jumping back over to our now hydrated crumbles, we're going to be adding these to the pan, and we're going to be adding some seasonings along. They cook very, very quickly, so we're going to want to move fast. Now to the crumbles, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sofrito, and we're going to dash a healthy portion of onion powder and garlic powder. Now it's time to add a packet of sazon to this mixture, and then we're going to stir it up. Once you've added in all the seasonings, go ahead and turn up the heat. As soon as you see everything getting steamy, which should be about 5 minutes, go ahead and give it one good stir and then turn the heat off and move it from the burner. Now jumping back to the rice, you see the water has completely gone down. It's being absorbed by the rice and beans. You're going to want to give it a good stir, and then we're going to go ahead and put the lid on and lower the heat. Okay, so jumping back over to the empanadillas, we're going to be using these plantillas by Don Julio. Notice as you take them out that they all have a plastic layer on the back of them. This we are going to leave on as we fill them, and then we'll remove them later. Once you have all your plantillas laid out, we're going to use about 1/4 cup to go ahead and scoop in. I believe this was actually 1/3 cup, but go ahead and grab your plantilla. Again, the plastic's still on the back, and it just makes it easier to grab them since the plastic is behind them, so they don't go sticking to each other on the plate. As you go along pinching the edges, go ahead and go back to the pan and drain off any excess liquid. At this point, you can go ahead and start taking the plastic off, but don't discard it because as you lay them on the plate, this will help to keep them still from sticking to the other plantillas. Now for some of these, I'm going to be adding some cheese, and if you've been vegan for any length of time or have tried it out, you know that not all vegan cheese is the same, but this Follow Your Heart American slice is really good. It actually melts nicely, and they're perfect inside of the empanadillas. So I normally just take a half of a slice per empanadilla and add it like this, and then we're going to go ahead and fold it over. Again, we're going to drain it over the pan, and that way all of the excess liquid flows out, keeping the empanadillas from getting soggy as you work on the rest. Once these are all completed, we're gonna just go back over them and press the edges with a fork. One thing I love about making empanadillas is that they freeze very nicely. So for these, I'm actually going to be freezing them so that we have a couple for the next few days. So as we finish up with that, our rice is done. That's off. We're going to go ahead and have that deep fryer oil already hot. And we're going to get these empanadillas into the deep fryer. And always make sure you have a paper towel on the plate to catch any excess oil. And look at how nice and crispy they came out. And here I just wanted to show you the difference of how I sealed them. This one I pinched down with the fork, and this one here I did not. So you can tell the difference, and sometimes they can open up in the deep fryer. So you definitely, I would suggest pinching the edges with a fork. And here we are, the final product. Arroz con gandules with empanadillas, vegan style. Absolutely no meat and all the delicious flavor you want. I hope you guys get a chance to try these out. If you do, please share in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy.